Hello. I'm really glad you're here tonight. This hour is different from the rest of the day. It doesn't ask you to decide anything. It doesn't ask you to perform or explain or keep up. It simply invites you to lie still and let your thoughts move at their own pace. As the years pass, nighttime becomes a kind of companion, a place where the mind is free to wander without interruption, where memories return, not urgently, but patiently, where understanding settles in quietly, without needing words. Later in life, the mind doesn't race the way it once did. It reflects, it revisits, it connects dots that once seemed unrelated. And it does this most honestly when the lights are off and the world has gone silent. This space is for those thoughts, the ones that don't surface during the day, the ones that arrive only when you're alone with yourself, resting, remembering, and gently making sense of a long, lived-in life. So take a slow breath, let your body soften into the bed, and allow this night to meet you where you are. And now, before we begin, if this kind of honest, gentle reflection speaks to you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And down in the comments, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is where you are right now. There's something comforting about knowing we're all here together, scattered across time zones, but united in these late hours when the world finally grows still. So settle in, adjust your pillows, find a comfortable position, and know that for the next hour, you're not alone in whatever wisdom you're carrying, whatever understanding you've earned, whatever truths rise to the surface when the lights go out. Let's begin. Your mind is doing something right now that it does every single night, and you've probably never stopped to name it. It's unraveling, not falling apart, not breaking down, not losing itself. Unraveling. The way a tightly wound spool of thread slowly releases when you set it down and stop holding it taut. The way a clenched fist softens when the reason for clenching is finally gone. The way a long-held breath finally, mercifully releases. Your mind has been held together all day, wound tight with purpose and task and obligation and awareness. It had to be. The world requires a certain kind of tension from you during the daylight hours. It requires you to be present and responsive and capable. It requires you to track 100 small things simultaneously. The appointment, the errand, the name you needed to remember, the conversation you needed to navigate carefully, the decision you needed to make, the feeling you needed to set aside for later. Later is now. This is later. This quiet room, this darkened space, these blankets pulled up, and this pillow arranged, and this body finally horizontal after all those hours of being upright and useful and required. And your mind, which has been waiting for this moment, begins its nightly unraveling. You might not experience this as something peaceful at first. Sometimes the unraveling feels uncomfortable. Sometimes the first threads that loosen are the ones connected to worry, to regret, to the things left undone today, to the things said that shouldn't have been said, to the things unsaid that still needed to be said. These thoughts arrive not because your mind is cruel, but because your mind is thorough. It has been holding these threads all day, keeping them contained, waiting for a safe moment to examine them. And now, in the quiet, it brings them forward. You let them come. You've learned, over the years, not to fight this part. You used to fight it. You used to lie here and argue with your own thoughts. You used to try to force your mind into silence through sheer willpower, and you learned that willpower is the wrong tool for this particular work. You can't bully your mind into peace. You can only invite it. You can only create the conditions and wait. So tonight, you don't fight. Tonight, you watch. Your thoughts move through you the way weather moves through a valley. You notice the worry about something you can't change tonight. You let it pass. You notice the replay of a conversation that didn't go the way you'd hoped. You watch it move through. You notice the small ache of something you miss. Something or someone that used to be present in your daily life and isn't anymore. You feel it, acknowledge it, and let it continue on its way. This is what the mind does before sleep. It sorts, it processes, it files away the day into whatever storage system your sleeping brain has developed over all these decades. You have decades of nights behind you, decades of this exact process, the lying down, the unraveling, the sorting. You've done this so many times that your body begins it automatically now. The moment your head touches the pillow, something signals. The process begins. Your heartbeat slows almost immediately. Your breathing changes. Your muscles begin their long, gradual release. Your body knows how to do this even when your mind resists. And tonight your mind isn't resisting. Tonight your mind is cooperating. Tonight, for whatever reason, the cooperation feels easier. The threads come loose more willingly. The tension releases more readily. The unraveling is happening the way it's supposed to happen, gently and gradually, like ice melting rather than shattering. You notice the sounds of the night around you. Maybe the house settling, the particular creak it makes in the hours after the heat has gone off and the structure cools and contracts. You've heard that sound 1,000 times. You know it isn't anything to worry about. It's just the house breathing. Just the building adjusting to the temperature of darkness, the same way you're adjusting to it. Maybe traffic somewhere distant. A car passing on a street a few blocks away. The sound reaches you muffled and soft, less like a disturbance and more like a reminder that the world is still out there, still moving, still turning, but not requiring anything from you right now. The world is operating without your participation for a few hours. And that is exactly as it should be. Maybe wind, maybe rain against the window, maybe the complete and total silence of a night, so still it almost has a sound of its own, a kind of absence of sound that becomes its own presence. You've learned to find comfort in this. The quiet that means everyone is safe, everyone is home, the day is done and accounted for. Your breathing deepens. This happens without your instruction. Your body simply knows. The breath that was shallow and high in your chest all day migrates downward now. It moves into your belly. Your diaphragm expands and contracts with more room, more freedom, more intention. Each exhale is slightly longer than each inhale. This is the body's natural signal to the nervous system. Exhale longer than inhale. Activate the part of you that rests rather than the part that prepares for action. You've been in the preparing for action state all day. Now you get to leave it. The transition isn't immediate. It never is. But it's happening. You can feel it happening right now. Some part of you that was braced is softening. Some part of you that was alert is dimming. Some part of you that was holding everything together is cautiously, tentatively, beginning to let go. Your mind drifts to something from today. Not a worry this time. Just a moment. A small, inconsequential moment from the ordinary hours of your ordinary day. Maybe it was a patch of afternoon light falling across a table. Maybe it was the smell of something cooking. Maybe it was a brief exchange with someone, a smile exchanged, a small kindness offered or received. Something that lasted only seconds but registered somewhere below your conscious awareness, registered as something good, something worth keeping. Your mind brings you this moment now. This is one of the things the unraveling reveals. The small goods. The moments you didn't stop to appreciate during the day. because the day was moving too fast and you were too occupied with the next thing and the next thing after that. But they were there. They always are. And your mind, which misses nothing, collected them while you weren't paying attention. And now, in the quiet, it shows them to you. You notice that you're grateful, not in a performed way, not in the deliberate way you sometimes remind yourself to practice gratitude because you've read that it helps. Just a quiet, genuine, unprompted gratitude for having been alive today, for having had another day, for the patch of light and the smell of cooking and the brief exchange and the ordinary texture of an ordinary life. You've earned the right to feel this gratitude. Not because you did everything right today. You didn't. None of us do. But because you were here. Because you participated. Because you moved through another day of a life that has been long enough to know how quickly days pass and how much each one matters. Your body continues its slow release. You feel it in your shoulders first, usually. The shoulders carry so much. All day they've been subtly elevated, subtly braced, holding against the possibility of something needing to be carried, or withstood, or responded to. Now they drop. Not dramatically, just slightly, just enough. A millimeter of release that changes everything about how you feel. Then your jaw has been doing work you weren't aware of, clenching slightly against stress, against the effort of concentration, against the weight of managing your expressions in a world that watches faces and reads them. Now your jaw softens, your teeth separate slightly, your tongue settles back from where it was pressed against the roof of your mouth. Then your hands, those capable, useful, reliable hands that have done so much today. They uncurl. The fingers spread slightly and then relax into a loose, open curve. Like flowers closing for the night. Like the day's work being set down and released. Your mind is wandering now in the way that only pre-sleep wandering can achieve. It isn't following a logical path. It isn't tracking cause and effect. It's making the kind of associative leaps that only happen when the rational, organizing part of your brain steps back and lets the deeper, older parts have their say. You think about something from years ago, decades ago. A memory surfaces not because you summoned it, but because your mind, in its unraveling, has encountered a loose thread that leads there. You follow it without resistance. Maybe it's a place you loved, a place from childhood or young adulthood or some significant chapter of your life. A kitchen, a street, a particular view from a particular window at a particular time of day. Your mind reconstructs it with surprising detail. The colors, the sounds, the feeling in your body of being in that place. You haven't thought about this place in years, and yet here it is, intact, preserved, waiting. This is one of the most remarkable things about the mind as it ages. It doesn't lose things, it archives them. The memories don't disappear just because they haven't been accessed recently. They're stored somewhere, fully formed, waiting for the right conditions to resurface. And the right conditions are exactly this: the quiet, the dark, the unraveling, the state between waking and sleeping, when the archivist of your unconscious mind unlocks certain rooms and lets the light in. You explore this memory without hurry. You're in no rush. There's nowhere you need to be, and nothing you need to do, and no performance required of you. You can simply be in this remembered place for as long as it wants to hold you. You can let the details sharpen. The texture of the light, the temperature of the air, the sounds that made that place distinctly itself, the particular quality of safety or joy or longing or bittersweet beauty that lives in that memory. And you notice something as you explore it. You notice that the memory doesn't hurt the way it once might have. If this is a memory of someone who is gone, The grief is present, but softer than it used to be. Not absent, not resolved into something clean and simple, but softer, more bearable, more layered with gratitude for having had it than with raw pain at having lost it. This is what time does to grief if you let it. This is what the accumulation of years does to loss. It doesn't erase it. It doesn't replace it. It places it in a larger context. A context that includes everything that came after. Everything you survived. Everything you learned. Everything that continued, even when you couldn't imagine anything continuing. The memory holds you gently and then releases you. You drift to something else. Your mind is moving now the way water moves. Not forced, not directed. Simply following whatever contour presents itself. Flowing around obstacles rather than through them. Finding the path of least resistance, not out of laziness, but out of wisdom. The wisdom that knows some things don't need to be forced. Some things arrive on their own schedule and can only be received, never pursued. You think about who you are now, not in a critical way, not in the way you sometimes think about yourself during the day, measuring your current self against some imagined standard, tallying up failures and deficiencies and things you should have done differently. Not like that. Just curiously. With the mild, affectionate curiosity you might feel toward an old friend you know extremely well. A friend whose flaws you understand completely and have long since made peace with. A friend you simply like. Who are you now? In this bed, in this darkness, in this chapter of your life. You're someone who has been through things. Real things. Difficult things. Things that tested you beyond what you thought you could withstand, and you withstood them anyway. You're someone who has loved imperfectly, and been loved imperfectly, and learned that imperfect love is still love, still real, still worth having, still worth giving. You're someone who has changed so many times you've lost count, who has held beliefs and released them, who has been certain and been wrong and been uncertain and somehow been right, who has built things and watched them fall and built again differently. You're someone who knows things now that you didn't know at 30 or 40 or even 50. Not everything. You don't know everything. The older you get, the more clearly you see how much remains mysterious, how much defies explanation, how much requires the humility of simply not knowing. But you know certain things. Things that can only be learned through living. Things that no book fully captures and no instruction can adequately convey. You know that most things that seemed urgent weren't. You know that most things that seemed permanent weren't. You know that most things that seemed like failures were actually redirections. You know that most things that seemed like losses contained gifts that took years to unwrap. You know that the body has its own intelligence and deserves to be listened to rather than overridden. You know that relationships require more patience and less pride than you gave them in your younger years. You know that time spent in nature restores something that nothing else can restore. You know that certain conversations matter far more than you understood when you were having them, and certain arguments mattered far less. You know that sleep is not a luxury. It never was. Your mind settles into a slower rhythm now. The thoughts are coming less frequently. The spaces between them are longer, more comfortable. The silence between one thought and the next is no longer something to fill urgently. It's something to inhabit, something to rest in, like the pause between notes in a piece of music that you finally learn to hear as part of the music itself. The silence isn't emptiness, it's presence, it's rest, it's the mind breathing. You are somewhere between waking and sleeping now. You know this place. You visited it every night of your life, though you've rarely been conscious enough to notice it. It's a threshold, a corridor between two states, and it has its own particular quality of experience that belongs to neither state entirely. You're aware enough to notice that you're in it. Aware enough to feel the looseness of your body and the drift of your thoughts and the slow tide pulling you deeper, but not quite aware enough to be fully present in the waking world anymore. Things get softer here. The edges of your thoughts round off. The sharp definitions that make objects and concepts distinct from one another begin to blur. One memory slides into another. One feeling dissolves into a different feeling. The strict categories that organize your waking experience start to loosen their grip. And in that loosening, something unexpected happens. You feel, for just a moment, the wholeness of your life, not the narrative of it, not the chronological story with its chapters and plot points and recurring themes, but the wholeness of it, the simultaneity of it, the way all of it exists at once inside you, the child you were and the adult you became, and every version in between, all present together, all part of the same continuous being, all real, all you. This is what the mind's gentle unraveling reveals at its deepest level. Not chaos, not dissolution, but wholeness. The threads don't come apart into a tangled mess. They loosen from the tight, functional structure they had to maintain all day, and they rearrange themselves into something more natural, something truer, something that reflects not the you that the world requires, but the you that simply is. And that you is enough, that you has always been enough. The darkness holds you now, warm and complete and entirely without demand. Your breathing has slowed to something deep and even and unhurried. Your body is heavy in the good way, the way that means it's releasing its grip on tension, releasing its constant readiness, releasing the day. Your mind is almost still. Almost. There's one more thing it wants to offer you before sleep comes fully. One more small gift from the unraveling. A feeling, more than a thought. A sense of something that language struggles to contain, but that you recognize immediately when it arrives. It's the feeling of continuity. The feeling that despite everything, despite all the changes and losses and transformations and surprises, there is a thread of you that has run unbroken through all of it. A thread of essential you-ness that was present in the child and the teenager and the young adult and every age since. That thread has never broken. It's been stretched and tested and pulled in directions you didn't choose, but it's never broken. You feel it now. That thread, running back through everything you've been and forward into whatever remains. It's enough to rest on. It's more than enough. The night is quiet. The darkness is gentle. Your body is heavy and warm and safe. Your mind has done its work. It has unraveled as it needed to. It has sorted and processed and remembered and understood, and finally arrived at this stillness. You're almost there. Just a few more breaths. Just a little more letting go. Just the final loosening of whatever last threads of waking still hold you here at the surface. Let them go. You don't need them tonight. They'll be there in the morning. Everything you need to hold together tomorrow will reassemble itself with the daylight. The competence and the awareness and the readiness will return when they're needed. You don't have to guard them through the night. You can let go completely. The mind's gentle unraveling is nearly complete, and what remains after the unraveling is something quiet and still and deeply, essentially you. Something that was there before the day began and will be there after the night ends. Something that doesn't need to be managed or maintained or performed. Something that simply rests. Something that simply rests. And yet the mind, even in its resting, isn't entirely silent. Not yet. There's a quality to this near sleep state that you've come to recognize over all these years of nights. A particular texture, a particular temperature. It's the place where the unraveling doesn't stop but slows, where the threads don't pull free in long, loose strands anymore but drift, float, settle. You're in that place now. You can feel the difference between this and the beginning of tonight. When you first lay down, the unraveling was active. There was work to it. The releasing of the day's tension, the sorting of its moments, the processing of its small complications and its quiet gifts. That work required something from you, even if only the willingness to allow it. But now the work is done. Now you're simply here. In the aftermath of unraveling, in the gentle, spacious quiet that the unraveling leaves behind when it's finished. And it feels like a room that's been aired out after a long winter. Fresh, open, the staleness gone, the heaviness lifted. Just clean, still air, and the particular piece of a space that's been tended to. Your mind is doing something different now than it was an hour ago. An hour ago, it was processing, sorting, examining. Now it's simply receiving. There's a passivity to it that doesn't feel like emptiness, but like openness. Like a sky after a storm has moved through. Still, clear. Everything washed. The clouds not absent, but rearranged into something soft and unthreatening, drifting without urgency across a darkened field of sky. You receive what comes without reaching for it. A color arrives. Just a color. Something warm. Amber, maybe. Or the deep blue of early evening in a season you loved. It isn't attached to a memory exactly. It's just a color that your resting mind has offered up from somewhere in its vast collection of everything you've ever seen and felt and experienced. And it's beautiful. Unexpectedly beautiful. The way things are beautiful when you're not trying to find beauty. When it simply appears. You let it be there without trying to identify where it came from. This is one of the small freedoms of this threshold state. You don't have to explain things here. You don't have to trace origins or assign meanings or understand why your resting mind chose this particular color at this particular moment. You can just let it be what it is. A gift from your own depths. A small, wordless offering from the part of you that doesn't speak in language, but speaks in this. In sensation, in impression, in the quiet language of images and colors and textures that precede thought. Your body has grown very heavy now. Not the heaviness of exhaustion, though that's part of it. Something deeper. The heaviness of genuine release. As though everything you were carrying today, everything you were holding in your muscles and your posture and your nervous system, has finally been set down completely. And your body, relieved of its load, has settled into the mattress with a kind of gratitude. A physical gratitude. The gratitude of a burden lifted. You've carried a lot over the years. Not just today. Over all the years. The particular weight of a life that has been long enough to accumulate real things. Real responsibilities and real losses and real loves and real disappointments. A younger body carries these things differently. A younger body hasn't yet learned how much weight it's holding because it hasn't had anything to compare it to. But you've had years of comparison now. Years of learning what it feels like to set things down and what it feels like to carry them. And tonight, in this moment, you are setting it all down. All of it. The worry about tomorrow. Set down. The memory of something that still stings from last week or last year or 20 years ago. Set down. The low-grade, ever-present concern about people you love and whether they're okay. Set down. Not abandoned. Not forgotten. Not resolved. Just set down for the night. Just placed gently on the floor beside the bed, where it will wait for morning without requiring your attention in the dark hours between. You breathe into this setting down. You feel the exhale carry something with it, something that was lodged in your chest, something you've been breathing around rather than through. It releases now, just slightly, just enough. And in the space it leaves, something else arrives. Something lighter. Something that feels, almost, like relief. Your mind drifts to the people you love. This happens naturally in this state. Without effort or direction, your mind moves toward the people who matter most to you. Not with anxiety, not with the cataloguing of worries that sometimes accompanies thinking about loved ones, just with warmth, just with the simple, quiet awareness of them, their faces, their voices, the specific feeling of being in their presence. You think about what it means to love someone for a long time. Real love. The kind that has been tested and strained and stretched and somehow survived all of it. The kind that has looked at the worst of another person and decided to stay. The kind that has been disappointed and disappointed back and found its way through the disappointment to something more honest and more durable than the idealized version it started as. You know this kind of love. You've lived it. And in this quiet moment, in this soft darkness, it feels like one of the things you're most grateful for. Not the easy love, not the love that required nothing, but the love that required everything and gave everything back in return. The love that changed you. The love that made you into a more patient and more humble and more genuinely caring version of yourself than you would have been without it. Some of those people are still in your life. You'll see them tomorrow or next week or whenever circumstances bring you together. And you'll carry this quiet moment of nighttime gratitude into that meeting without mentioning it, without needing to mention it. The gratitude will simply be present in how you look at them, in the extra second you hold a hug, in the patience you offer when they frustrate you, in the gentleness that comes from knowing, at a level deeper than words, how much they matter. Some of those people are gone, and you carry them differently now than you did when the loss was new. You've learned to carry them lightly, not because they matter less. They matter as much as they ever did. But because you've had years of practice at this particular kind of carrying, years of learning that grief and gratitude can occupy the same space, that missing someone and being thankful for them are not opposing forces, but companions, that the ache of absence is itself a testament to the reality of the love that preceded it. You let yourself feel this without flinching. You let yourself love them fully, even now, even in their absence, even in the quiet of a room they'll never enter again. You love them here, under these blankets, in this darkness, the same way you loved them when they were alive and present and within reach. The love doesn't require their physical presence to be real. It exists in you. It's part of the architecture of who you are. And it will continue to exist there for as long as you exist. This thought is not sad tonight. Tonight it feels like something else. Like continuity. Like proof that love is more durable than time, more persistent than circumstance, more resilient than loss. Like evidence of something in human beings that refuses to let go of what mattered, that insists on carrying forward what was real, that will not allow the most important things to be extinguished simply because the conditions that originally created them have changed. Your mind is very quiet now. The thoughts that are arriving are barely thoughts at all. They're more like impressions, like the faint outlines of thoughts, sketched rather than written. Your brain is moving into the shallower waters of sleep. The deep processing is done. The sorting is complete. The memories have been visited and honored and allowed to settle back into their rightful places. What remains is something close to pure sensation, pure presence, pure being. You notice the weight of your eyelids. They have their own gravity at this hour, a pull that is gentle and persistent and utterly without urgency, not demanding that you sleep, simply making sleep available, simply reminding you that it's here, ready, waiting, requiring only your willingness to receive it. You're willing. You've been willing for a while now, since that first exhale when you lay down, since that first conscious release of the day. Everything that's happened since then has been preparation for this moment. The unraveling, the sorting, the remembering, the gratitude, the loving, all of it preparation for this one act of complete surrender. You surrender now, not to nothing, not to emptiness or absence or the frightening blankness that sleep might have seemed like when you were younger and less acquainted with its rhythms. You surrender to something, to the restorative intelligence of a body and mind that know exactly how to heal you if you'll only let them. To the ancient, trustworthy process of sleep that has been restoring human beings since the beginning of human beings. To the night itself, which has been gentle with you before and will be gentle with you tonight. You trust this. That's something age gives you if you let it. Trust in the body's wisdom. Trust in the night's reliability. Trust that you will wake tomorrow having been restored in ways you'll feel but won't be able to fully explain. That the sleep will have done its work. That the dreams will have processed whatever the waking mind couldn't finish processing. That morning will arrive having been worth waiting for. You've woken up enough mornings to trust this. Thousands of mornings, each one arrived. Each one brought with it the ordinary miracle of waking, of finding yourself still here, still capable of beginning again, still in possession of a mind that works and a body that moves and a life that continues. You've taken this miracle for granted sometimes. Most people do. But tonight, in this state between waking and sleeping, the miracle isn't taken for granted. Tonight, it's received with the quiet astonishment it deserves. You are here, still here. After everything, after all the years and all the changes and all the losses and all the times you weren't sure you'd make it through. Still here. Still lying down at the end of a day and pulling the covers up and letting your mind unravel and feeling, somewhere beneath the worry and the tiredness and the accumulated weight of a long life, that it has been worth it, that it is worth it, that the ongoing, complicated, imperfect, irreplaceable experience of being alive is worth the cost of admission. It is worth it. You know this tonight with a certainty that doesn't require argument or evidence. It arrives as simple truth, the kind of truth that lives below language, below thought, in the body itself, in the breathing, in the heartbeat that has continued through every difficulty and every joy and every ordinary day without being asked to. The heartbeat that doesn't know how to stop loving life, doesn't know how to stop doing its work, doesn't know how to be anything other than persistently, faithfully alive. Your mind offers you one last image before sleep. It's simple, almost too simple. Just a light, a warm light in a window somewhere. Maybe a memory, maybe an invention, maybe something between the two. The way things are in this threshold state where memory and imagination blur into each other and both become real. A warm light in a window that means someone is home. That means safety. That means you belong somewhere and are expected somewhere and are loved somewhere. You've had that light in your life. You've been that light for others. Both of these things are true. Both of these things are part of who you are. The person who has been welcomed home, and the person who has waited with the light on. The person who has been loved into safety, and the person who has created safety for others to be loved into. These are not small things. These are not ordinary things, even though they happen in ordinary homes and ordinary lives and ordinary moments that don't announce themselves as significant. They are the most significant things. The light in the window, the person who waits, the welcome that says you matter, that your return matters, that the world is different and better with you in it than without you. These small, domestic, unheroic acts of love are the things that hold the world together at its most fundamental level, and you have participated in them. You have been part of this holding. Let this be the thought that carries you into sleep, not the unresolved worry, not the thing that still needs doing, not the conversation that still needs having. Those things are real, and they'll be there tomorrow, and you'll attend to them with whatever capability and wisdom you've accumulated over all these years. But they don't need to carry you into sleep tonight. They don't get to be the last thought. Let the light in the window be the last thought. Let the warmth of having been loved and having loved be the thing your mind rests on as it makes its final descent. Let the knowledge that your life has mattered, that your presence has been a light in some windows, that the people you've loved have been warmer and safer for having had you in their lives, let that knowledge be the ground you sink into. It's solid ground. It will hold you. The room is very quiet now. The darkness is complete and comfortable, the way complete darkness is when you're safe and warm and horizontal and ready. Your body is indistinguishable from the bed beneath it. The boundaries have dissolved. You are not lying in a bed so much as you are simply being, simply existing in this moment without the effort of existing, without the performance of it, without the management of it, just being. Your breath is barely perceptible now, slow, deep, even. The rhythm of genuine rest, the rhythm your body returns to every night and will return to every night for as many nights as you're given. This rhythm is ancient. It predates you. It will continue after you. But right now, it is yours. This breath, this moment, this night. The unraveling is complete. What remains is not nothing. What remains is everything essential. The core of you, unencumbered. The part that existed before the day added its layers. The part that will exist when tomorrow adds its layers. The part that is simply you, quiet, resting, intact, and whole. You don't need to hold anything together tonight. Everything will hold itself. The world will turn without your management. The people you love will breathe and sleep and dream without your vigilance. The problems that seemed enormous at 7 in the evening have already shrunk to their actual size in the dark hours, and they'll be manageable tomorrow in the daylight with a rested mind and a restored body. Tonight, there is only this breath, this darkness, this warmth, this mind that has done its work and earned its rest, this body that has carried you faithfully through another day and is now, gratefully, setting itself down. This life that is yours, imperfect and complicated and full of both sorrow and beauty, and completely, irreversibly yours. You are allowed to rest now. You have always been allowed to rest. But tonight, you can feel that permission in your bones, in the looseness of your muscles and the slowness of your breath, and the way your mind has stopped generating thoughts and started simply existing in the space between them. You are allowed. You have done enough. You have been enough. You can stop now, just for tonight, just for these dark hours, and let everything be exactly as it is without your intervention. The night will take care of itself, and you will be taken care of by the night. By the sleep that is already settling over you like a second blanket, like a kindness from your own body, like the natural conclusion of a day that began in light and is ending now in this soft, complete darkness that holds nothing threatening, nothing demanding, nothing that requires anything from you at all. Only rest, only dreams, only the gentle continuation of a life that has been worth living and will be worth living again tomorrow when the light returns and the world asks again for your participation and you give it, as you always have, with everything you have. But that is tomorrow. This is tonight. And tonight the mind has finished its unraveling. The threads have settled. The tension has dissolved. The sorting is done, and the remembering is done, and the gratitude has been felt, and the love has been honored, and the light in the window has been seen and understood and received into the deepest part of you, where the truest things live. There is nothing left to do. There is only the falling, the gentle, trustworthy, ancient falling into sleep, into the dark water of rest, into the place your body has been moving towards since the moment you lay down, the place you visited every night of your long and complicated and beautiful life, and returned from every morning renewed. You're falling now. You can feel it, not with fear, not with resistance, with the ease of something finally allowed to follow its natural direction, water finding its level, a breath completing its exhale, a day completing itself in darkness and rest. Fall, you've earned this. Every version of you that ever lay down and tried to sleep. Every night you fought the unraveling, and every night you surrendered to it. Every worry you carried into the dark hours, and every moment of grace that surprised you there. Every memory that surfaced, and every dream that waited on the other side. All of it has led to this particular moment of rest in this particular night of your particular life. Fall into it. The mind is still, the body is still, the night is still, and you, finally, completely, gratefully, are still.